Yes, children, let's continue with the lesson arthos, parthos, aramis, page number 44. Let me give you a quick recap about the how two people were introduced. And Artagan was running behind a man from Mayong, and in that procedure he met arthos and he met parthos. Okay, now we'll see what happens, who all he's going to meet in the journey of catching a man from Mayang. Page number 44. What do you think you are doing? Rushing like a madman, demanded Parthos angrily. So here, after giving time to Arthos, he told that he's going to meet him at 12 o'clock at Calms Dexhaus, and then he goes on forward. There he meets another musketeer, and he sees that his belt was made of gold and the rest was simple leather, and he comes to know that he is also a musketeer. Then he says, "Excuse me, I was in a hurry, I am running after someone." So he's telling Parthos also. There also he pushes Parthos and he goes forward. Then Parthos gets angry and he says, why are you running like a madman? Then Artagan says, "No sir, I'm in a hurry. I'm running after someone." "Do you shut your eyes when you run?" See what Parthos is asking. He's asking, "You're shutting your eyes and going?" "No," answered Artagan angrily. Then he looked pointedly at Parthos' belt and said, "Thanks to my eyes, I can see what others do not." So his Artagan also gets angry because he's already in a hurry and he happens to have a conversation with these people in between. Then he sees his belt and he understands that he is a musketeer. Then Parthos turned red with anger. "Sir, you do not know how to talk to a musketeer. I will teach you. Let's meet at 1 o'clock behind Luxembourg's palace." So he's telling, Parthos is even more angry. He's telling, "You don't know how to talk to a musketeer. You don't know how to respect a soldier. I will teach you. You finish all your work and let's meet at 1 o'clock. What is the time that he gave for Arthos? He's given the time at 12 o'clock. And for Parthos, it is at 1 o'clock. See, you have to remember these 12 for Arthos and 1 at Parthos, because these are important at the later part of the lesson. Okay, so Artagan will agree to this. "I shall be there," said Artagan, and ran on in search of the gentleman from Mayong. He continued his work, but he was nowhere in sight. See, Artagan's work is gone now. That gentleman whom he was searching is nowhere. Just then he spotted Aramis talking to a group of musketeers. So one more musketeer is introduced here. His name is Aramis. So there he sees him talking to a group of musketeers. D'Artagnan gave him a gracious bow, but Aramis ignored him. See, he is giving a gracious bow, but now see the difference. For the first and the second person, he was in a hurry, he did not respect them. But now when the gentleman he was searching was nowhere in sight there, he saw this musketeer and he bowed at him, but Aramis ignored him. D'Artagnan realized he was an intruder, but he did not know how to withdraw himself from the group. So Artagan bowed to him, but Aramis ignored him. Artagan realized that he was unnecessary a person in that place, but he did not know how to come out of that group. Suddenly, he saw that Aramis had dropped his handkerchief and that he had quickly put his foot on it as though he was trying to hide it. See, this is another situation. Aramis is standing and talking. He had dropped his handkerchief and he had suddenly put his foot. He knew that there was a handkerchief. He had dropped a handkerchief and he put his foot on it and he was hiding it. D'Artagnan immediately bent down and picked up the handkerchief from under the musketeer's foot. So Artagan noticed this. He didn't know whose the handkerchief was. So he picked up the handkerchief. he picked up the handkerchief and gave it to the musketeer. Handing it to Aramis, he said, I believe, sir, this kerchief belongs to you. So Artagnan says, I think, sir, this is the handkerchief. It is yours. It was clear to everyone that this richly embroidered handkerchief could belong only to a woman. See, there is a twist in the story here. Artagnan didn't know whose kerchief was that. He thought it was the musketeers, that is Aramis. So he thought it was very kind of him that he could give back his kerchief. But it was embroidered handkerchief and which belongs to a woman. Aramis blushed deeply and snatched the handkerchief from D'Artagnan. So Aramis was aware that a handkerchief had fallen down. So he blushed means he felt shy. He became shy and he snatched the handkerchief from Artagnan. Said one of the guard with a wink in his eye. So he says, one guard says there, he shows a naughty wink in his eye and he says, we all know this handkerchief belongs to Madame de Bayos Tracy. It's a name of a lady. He says, we all know that this kerchief belongs to that lady. He is only pretending to have a lover's quarrel with her, said another musketeer. So the conversation is going on between the musketeers there itself. He's telling he's only having a quarrel with his love. They bade farewell to Aramis amidst loud laughter. So the musketeers with him, they just laugh and they bade a farewell. They say okay bye and they go away. So Aramis turned angrily to Artagnan. So Aramis also is angry with Artagnan. Sir, you have no manners. Only a fool would pull out a handkerchief from under a man's foot. See, for no reason, Artagnan is again into a problem. He says, you don't have manners. Only a fool will pull out a handkerchief. Poor thing, Artagnan thought that the kerchief belonged to Aramis and he wanted to help him by getting the handkerchief back to him. But Aramis became angry because all his other friends made fun of him. Sir, you have no right to insult me. I was only trying to be helpful. You should not have it fall. So Artagnan also felt very bad. He says, sir, you cannot insult me. You have no rights to insult me. I was only trying to help you. You should not have let it fall. If you didn't want any help, you shouldn't have put your kerchief down. That is what it meant. That is what Artagnan meant. It is clear to me that I shall have to teach you some manners. So Aramis also gets angry and he says, I have to teach you how you have to behave. Let's meet outside Monsieur de Treville headquarters at 2 o'clock. And from there we will proceed to a quiet and lonely place. See, Aramis also wanted to teach some manners to Artagnan. He says, okay, we will meet at 2 o'clock at Monsieur de Treville headquarters. From there we will go to a lonely place and I will teach you a lesson. Artagnan didn't feel anything. He says, I shall be there. So the two men bowed to one another and parted. D'Artagnan found himself in a difficult situation. He was going to have a fight with 3 duels in a matter of 3 hours. I don't think I can escape this tie, but if they kill me, at least I shall be killed by a musketeer. He found some comfort in this thought. So Artagnan tries to comfort himself by saying that it is a difficult situation. See, can you see the difference between the 3 timings? Arthos gives him the time at 12 o'clock, Parthos gives him the time at 1 o'clock, and Aramis gives him a time at 2 o'clock. So difference is 3. Within these 3 hours he has to fight. So he agreed to all this and he had a comfort saying that even if I am killed, I will be happy that I am killed by a musketeer. Okay, so this point you will have to remember, children. So please, this is the second half of the lesson. The next we will see how Artagranan fights with them and wins over them. So the first, how he met Arthos, next Parthos and Aramis. The three musketeers also he meets them. So please read page 43, 44, 45 till the fourth paragraph in page 45. The next we will continue in the next class. Thank you.